I talked it over with the World of Outlaw people beforehand. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to propose to my wife. I might ever come down there with me and, act like I'm drawing and just pull a ring out and propose. And a whole new level of excitement, like having your family there with you and everybody's excited now. I got baby girl and I had her in Victory Lane at Wayne County when she was like 6 months old. So we'll have those pictures forever. It's a lot of sacrifice, friends and family, people getting married all summer long and missing weddings and it's like a drug, there's a lot of people get hooked on drugs and then people get hooked on dirt racing.
Right. But I think we have the best dirt racing program in the world, man.
Yeah. Actually, my great grandpa built Wayne County Speedway.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, so it's been around forever. And
damn, Robbie, you didn't do your research.
No, I didn't.
Holy
Listen.
shit.
Yeah, as soon as I got a taste of driving a sprint car, then it was all over from there. It's kind of all I wanted to do after that.
Is there a specific class that you haven't tried yet or haven't raced in yet that you'd want to get into?
You can mess yourself all up, when you get thinking too much, but you get out there and you get in a rhythm and you get going and there's no time to think about anything. You're just reacting. And I feel like that's when I operate at the best.
You see that wall approaching you. Is there any fear? Is there any driver that you just maybe not a rivalry, but just man, he got me again? What are you chasing? Go for it. Man, Leon pissing me off already. Welcome to the Speedway Podcast, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, the voice of Mansfield Speedway, Robbie DeVore, and today as the co-host on the co-couch, we got Leon Feinstein. How we doing, buddy?
Good to be here. Good to be back.
Great to be here. And our guest tonight, a 410 sprint car driver in Nagy Performance Racing Products, Miller Customs, TNT Firearms, Bergen Insurance, Holmes Cheese, Vibe ISO, Smithville Manufacturing Machine in the 28N, all the way from Worcester, Ohio. We got Trey Jacobs. Come on. Trey, how you doing today, brother?
Oh, I'm good.
It's great to have you, man. It's great to have you.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys having me on. This is quite the setup.
Yeah, it's we created a nice little shindig out here. We got the lights beaming down on us. We got you holding Pepsi, the official soft drink of the Mansfield Speedway. Look at that, plugs all around. Oh man! So, you've been racing for how long there?
Started in 305s in 2014.
So 2014. So about a dozen years you've been racing.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, I started first year in 410s was 2016.
2016. Was it an easy jump going from a 305 to a 410?
Ironically for me, I really didn't run very well in 305s like the year and a half or 2 years that I did it, and I don't know what about it. For whatever reason, whenever I jumped into a 410 car, it seems like I just started going better. So it's just, I don't know. I could see why it would be tough. You're getting a few hundred more horsepower right away, but to me, the cars seem to handle better and just fit my driving style better. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't too bad, fortunately.
Yeah, well, I think you're a freaking psycho, to be honest with you. I play around with iRacing every once in a while. Get into a 410 sprint car. Those things are so snappy. I don't know if you've ever done any sort of sim racing or anything like that.
Yeah. I've done a little bit of iRacing stuff. For me, it's hard on a lot of them simulators because, you drive a race car kind of more with your ass than with what you see. So it's like, you get a feel that it's hard to replicate, but since you brought it up, my car owner, Chris Nagy, is putting in at his Nagy Performance Race Products shop here in March. He's going to have a full, awesome simulator, Podium 1 Spider, I think it's called. It's really cool, moves all around. You got to be seat belted into it and everything. So that's going to be a new deal over there in Findlay to get a full, actual, realistic racing experience. So I'll probably be playing on that some, and I know he's going to try to get some more people out there to get on that. So I'll have to see if it's anything more like the real thing. But most of the stuff I'm guarantee if you've done iRacing, you're way better at it than I am. And
you heard it here.
I'm terrible. I can't drive a sprint car straight on iRacing every time I've tried, but doing the real thing's a little bit easier.
That's kind of wild to hear. Does it translate at all, your entry points, your flow, anything like that, the mindset?
Yeah, I could see, I know a lot of guys, say it helps, and I can see, like, if you're going to a new racetrack for the first time, I could see it helping there, like, just, you know, the visuals and everything, like what to expect. But yeah, I don't know. It's a lot easier to jump in and hold the thing wide open on a simulator and run her in on than usually if it's me, I end up plowing the wall and it doesn't hurt at all. So you just hit restart. So that's the main difference. But yeah, I can see the visual things, like getting used to a new track. And I think, like, when you get in like a really nice simulator, like what I said, my car owner is getting installed out there, I can see it helping a ton. It's just I've only played with janky little computer desk steering wheel, like junk pedals. So
Yeah.
we'll see.
That's really all you need, man. There's a lot of kids out there. That's all they can really afford. You know, they're working their grocery store jobs, bagging groceries, have enough to scrounge up for a Logitech little steering wheel, you know, and it scoots all over the place for them. But hey, that's the way that you inspire new racers. You know, William Byron in the NASCAR Cup Series. That's how he got started. Hell, I got started from announcing over sim racing. So I mean, there's so many opportunities with that. But what was the initial? Now, do you come from like a genetic lineage of racers, like your dad, Papaw, thing like that?
Yeah. My grandpa raced back in the day, and actually my great grandpa built Wayne County Speedway.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, so it's been around forever. And then my dad is Dean Jacobs, and he raced for 40 years. Ran mostly All-Stars most of his career, ran World of Outlaws. I don't know if he did one full season, but off and on. And yeah, he raced, like I said, for 40 years. He just retired. 2021 was his last season driving. And my uncle Kenny Jacobs, he had a really storied career too. He was in the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame. And my cousin Lee has just kind of stepped away from it, but he raced for a long time. His son, which my second cousin, Race Jacobs, is now racing with us. And my brother's a World of Outlaw crew chief, two-time World of Outlaw crew chief of the year now. He's a crew chief for David Gravel in the Big Game Motorsports 2 car. So they're killing it. They're basically at the top of the sprint car world right now. So yeah, it's basically my whole family. It's kind of all we've done. So
damn, Robbie, you didn't do your research.
No, I didn't.
Holy shit.
Listen, ladies and gentlemen, I swear to you, I was cruising my race pass before this, and I was like, this guy ain't won nothing. We're going to have to really stretch to try to get something out of him. And then he comes in here, he's like, yeah, my papaw actually set the world record.
I need to have a talk with somebody at my race pass. They need to pump my stats up a little bit.
No, you really do, because my race pass is what announcers and all the media, this is what we rely on to be able to, you know, promote these drivers.
Is
like
there
yourself.
nothing else? Nothing else that you could look at?
Well, my race pass is it's utilized almost at every single track, and it should be tracking his stats in real time, and it should upload it.
How do they go about doing that? Do you know? It's pretty easy.
I'm a dumb guy, dude. I'm a stupid redneck. Shout out to the 57 Club. You can get this at thespeedway.com. If you're looking for some of the freshest merch, go to thespeedway.com and click on our merchandise to pick up a stupid redneck t-shirt.
Or a can't read t-shirt.
Can't read. This guy over here, Leon Feinstein.
I actually can't read, so it fits me.
I'm actually surprised you're here.
Yeah, me too, honestly. Sad.
Yeah, so what was it like when you were rolling around in the pit area as a kid, watching your family kind of make you into what you are, you know, leading you, watching, maybe sitting on his, I don't know if you were sitting on your dad's lap while he was taking hot laps around the track or what, but what was that like growing up with him?
Yeah, it was crazy. Like most of the summers that I remember growing up little, like we'd just travel around in a motorhome a lot, and it was awesome, you know. And oddly enough, like I never really like I was big on watching the races, but I never really like got super into it. Like I didn't race anything in my life until I got into a 305 sprint car. Like never raced go-karts, didn't do any of that. I was really big, like say middle school, high school. I was big into wrestling, and like that was kind of my thing. So I'd wrestle all winter, and then I'd go to the races and watch, but just never really got that interested until I got a little bit older. I'd say around 18, 19. I developed a little bit of interest, got in a guy's 305 car, I think twice when I was like 19. So I don't really count that as when I started, since then it was a handful of years later that we put a car together, and yeah, as soon as I got a taste of driving a sprint car, then it was all over from there. It's kind of all I wanted to do after that.
Have you been in any other car class, a late model, modified, a compact even?
I raced a modified. A guy had a modified around home, and I'd been racing the sprint car, and he asked me if I would drive his modified a few nights at Wayne County. So I ran it, I don't know, 3 or 4 nights, but that's all. The only other car that I think I'd love to drive a late model. Like that is pretty high up on my list I'd like to do. But yeah, just 305, 410 sprint car, ran a non-wing sprint car a handful of times, and that modified, that was a whole different experience.
How did it present yourself to being able to climb in a 305 sprint car after I've never even racing anything? How did that happen?
Just because of my dad.
Just because your dad, the connections, yeah.
Yeah, my dad was driving back then. It was a local 305 guy, and he had the car. I'm not sure who drove it before my dad, but he asked my dad to run it, and at Fremont, he was allowed to race the 410 and the 305, but for whatever reason at Attica, they wouldn't let him, or maybe vice versa. I know it was one track he could run both, and the other track they didn't let you run 2 divisions. So it got to be later in the year, and I was like, hey, like just kind of casually, like young kid, I never raced anything, and I was like, hey, why don't you see if he would let me hop in that thing one night? And he come home, it was probably a Wednesday after work, and was like, hey, we're going to go over there and put a seat in that thing, and you're going to drive it Friday. So it's kind of how it started. And then, yeah, I don't even really remember how the first night or 2 went, but then I know after that I was really itching to get my own deal put together and start racing all the time.
Yeah. And ripping around, you said you raced mainly Fremont, Attica.
Yeah, back when I started, yeah.
And
yeah,
then
that was it.
And then your grandpa, you said, built Wayne County. Do you spend a lot of time out there too?
Yeah. Growing up, we were there a lot. My great grandpa built it, and then my grandparents lived right across the street. Basically, like Wayne County Speedway, right there. All the houses around I feel like, were at one point like my family's houses. So like, yeah, we spent a lot of time around there, and then once I moved up into, I ran a 305 at Wayne County once or twice just to get my kind of get some laps with the 410s. Ran in the back. But then once we moved up to the 410 deal, I still stuck around Attica and Fremont mostly, just because I feel like those are like the 2 local places in Ohio that like really were teaching guys how to race. This place wasn't around back then, and it was really good competition, and I really feel like learned how to race at Attica and Fremont, and then started going back to Wayne County more, sticking around home on Saturday nights, and yeah, we've raced there quite a bit. Actually, like become one of my favorite places. It's nice that it's right close to home and all of our family lineage there. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I've never actually been out to Wayne County, believe it or not, and I've only heard great things about it. Let's exclude the ones that we're going to be biased with, okay? Fremont, Attica, and Wayne County. Outside of that, what do you think is your best track, your favorite track to race on?
Favorite outside of those 3, Lernerville's fun.
Oh my gosh.
Sarver. Yeah, I love Lernerville. I've only ran there maybe 4 times. I've only ran there, a few times. The first night we went there, it was just a regular, like a local show, and I'd never been there before, and we ran second to AJ Flick. He wins over there all the time, and I was like, man, this place is a lot of fun. Come here, we're fast. I think I might have led some laps. I'm like, shoot, this place is awesome. Then just unfortunately, like we don't get to go there very often because, Attica's so close and it pays a lot better. And it's just, we have really good options, fortunately, here in Ohio, but unfortunately we can't get over there very often because it is a lot of fun.
Yeah. No, Ohio is, I am biased because I'm from Ohio, but I think we have the best dirt racing program in like the world, man.
Yeah.
The amount of tracks that we have, the competitive nature that we have around here, the drivers are just top tier. You're competitive all the way across the board.
Oh, yeah. Ohio's awesome. Pennsylvania is the only place that, Pennsylvania and Ohio, I feel like, are the 2 places. Like, it's really tough going over there. I've raced, so they're like Lincoln and Williams Grove now, and like those places are super tough for us Ohio guys to come over and, you know, run good right away, but it's the same for them guys when they come over here. You know, it's not easy. So, yeah, I'd say between Pennsylvania and Ohio, and then, I mean, Knoxville. Iowa has Knoxville, but that's their thing. But, yeah, Ohio is right there with anyone, and our local guys, especially right now, I feel like is as tough as it's been. So there's a lot of really good race car drivers around here.
Oh, it runs deep in the competitive class here in Ohio. But again, research betrayed me. But what is the biggest spectacle you've been a part of? Have you ever raced in the Knoxville Nationals or anything like that?
No, I ran the Kings Royal.
Okay.
I don't even remember what year it was. It was the year that they rained out and ran like 2 Kings Royals in one day. It's been maybe 20, might have been 21, 22, one of those years. I ran it in my own car just to kind of get some laps around Eldora. It's hard to, they don't have, basically the only time you can go race there is with the World of Outlaws. So it's hard for somebody who doesn't have many laps around there to ever get laps. So we went, took my own car. My deal wasn't really set up to go be competitive there, but we raced there. And yeah, I ran the 4 Crown. I ran it a couple different years. But other than that, yeah, I'd have to say the Kings Royal is the biggest, you know, that's, I guess, one of the 4 crown jewels in sprint car racing. That's the biggest race I've ran.
Where are you trying to go? You trying to Knoxville Nationals?
Everywhere. Yeah,
everywhere.
I'd love to run Knoxville. My big thing, like I had an opportunity to go not this past year, but the year before. But my big thing is I want to go out there. If I'm going to go run the Knoxville Nationals, I want to go out and run 1 or 2 weekly shows out there throughout the year, because whenever I do decide to go run Knoxville, I want to have a really good shot of winning the Rookie of the Nationals. So, like I said, I've had the opportunity to go out and run it, but I'm not. It's just not. I'm not the type of guy to go run a race just to say I did it. I want to be competitive. So, hopefully, with the deal we're putting together now over at Chris Nagy Racing, I mean, I feel like the sky's the limit there. We're just starting, and it's really good stuff. Or maybe, who knows, maybe we could end up out there in the years to come.
Oh, I hate to put you on the spot like this, but with the new team, Chris Nagy in the 28N, what is different about the culture out there than other teams that you've raced for before independently? What makes them, what gives you the hope with that team?
Yeah, it's just Chris is a really good dude. Like I just met him when I started driving his race car, and they live there in Findlay, and he raced back in the 90s, I think mostly 360 stuff, and then had stepped away from racing for a long time, and just decided to get back going in a sprint car. And he started running a 305 a little bit, and then he decided to put this 410 deal together. And Matt Frishy works for him, and he was a crew guy for my dad for years. So with my dad being retired now, and him and my dad still have a really good relationship, he kind of got me in there, got my foot in the door to, you know, drive his Chris's 410 car. And yeah, it's just getting started. Like I said, we haven't ran many races, but it's all really good stuff. He bought everything brand new, and he started up the Nagy Performance Racing Products parts shop. So we're kind of, that's like our main sponsor, trying to promote the parts business to show all the racers there's another option out there to go buy all your sprint car parts. But with having that parts shop, the resources are there. So, like, you know, fortunately, if I do tear something up, we go to the parts shop and it's there. And so that makes it nice. And everybody's just green over there besides Matt, who's worked on sprint cars forever. It's kind of new, and we're just getting going, worked out some of the gremlins in the races we ran last year, and got going better and better as the end of the year went on. So where now I think, you know, if we can just start off this 2026 season, hopefully bust off a couple wins early and build some momentum, I think it'll just get everybody more fired up to keep racing and do more.
Yeah, absolutely. And it takes a long time in this sport to get that momentum, to catch fire, to get that motion finally. So, I mean, you know, you were kind of born into the system of dirt racing. It bit you right when you were knee-high to a grasshopper.
Oh, yeah.
But, you know, you've been racing, you said, since 2012? 2014?
14, I believe.
2014. So you've got enough repetitions under your belt. If you were to talk to someone, let's say I was a brand new driver and I just couldn't find my feet. If just for whatever reason I couldn't make the feature, I would flip it in the B main. I'd take out the Uke tire in my hot lap or something like that, and I'm getting discouraged and I'm just defeated. If there's anything that you could say to that person, what would it be? Like, how do you find yourself?
The biggest thing, like, it's just repetition, you know, getting laps. And for me, yeah, I mean, you got different guys. Sometimes guys go out and tear a ton of stuff up early. And for me, the way I got going, we didn't have a whole lot of resources, but at the end of the day, all it takes, like, there's guys who got shops full of cars, full of motors and everything, but you can only bring one car and one motor to the racetrack. So we had enough to go race, and that's all we needed. But I knew if I tore my stuff up, I likely wasn't going to race for a few weeks. So I just bottom feeder till I was learning, and, you know, tried to make that work and made it work pretty well. And it's just, you can't beat laps. And if you're going out and getting your stuff tore up, you know, early in races, you're not making any laps.
Right.
Like, the biggest thing is just, you know, when you make your first day main, all right, you got to see the checkered flag. You get 30 laps in. Every lap, you're going to get better and figure out what the car's doing more. And, yeah, that's just the biggest thing is just finishing the races. You know, you don't have to go out. Not everybody's like, you know, it's rare there's somebody who can just hop in one and go out and, you know, be super fast right away. You know, it takes time. So, yeah, just the more laps you get, the better you'll be.
Yeah. That's all it is, man. You just got to stay grinding, and eventually it'll fall into your lap. I mean, you definitely have to work for it. You've definitely earned the title that you have, you know.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah, it's tough. Like, racing's the craziest deal. Like, it's so humbling because even, I mean, anybody, any given, you can go out and win on a Friday night and then go out and junk your shit on Saturday. Yeah. So it's like, or vice versa. You go out and junk a race car and then the next night go out and win one. So it's such a roller coaster up and down. So you just kind of got to ride it. You know, you can't get too. I try not to get too high on the highs and too low on the lows because this whole deal it's crazy.
Now let me ask you this: from the driver's perspective, I raced a compact race in the announcers clash this year at Hilltop Speedway. And I was uncomfortable the whole time, but I won the thing. And I went 3 wide through the middle, and I took home the big check, baby.
Yeah.
But I got to tell you, I don't want to crawl into a car again. It's not for me. So for someone that's been racing as long as you have and you were born and bred into it, what are you chasing? Is it the thrill of the competition? Is it the feeling of the car? Is it the ego, how you got all the pit lizards looking at you and winking at you? What are you chasing? What is that dragon you're chasing?
Maybe when I first started, it was, women love guys that are dangerous. It seems like, might be how I got my wife.
Oh boy,
she's a big race fan. So, but now it's just, I don't know. It's hard to explain. Like, obviously the thrill of it, but like now that you've done it for so long, the jitters and the thrill, like, it's still there, but it has calmed way down. And now it's just, I'm very competitive with really in everything that I do. So it's big for me. Like, just that competition is the biggest thing, and I want to, now I have a little girl at home. It'll be 2 tomorrow. And like,
oh, wow.
I really, it's not my full-time job. Like, I would love for it to be at some point, but it's a good supplemental income to my full-time job. So like, yeah, it's all the above. The competition, I want to win a lot of races. I want to, not just be another Jacobs or Dean Jacobs' kid, Kenny Jacobs' nephew. Like, I want to, have my own name where when I'm their age, people look back and are like, oh, wow, Trey Jacobs, did a lot. And so it's all the above. The competition, the money is a big thing you're chasing. And just overall, there's nowhere, like, hell, there's times where I might be feeling like, a little under the weather or whatnot, on a weekend, might be kept coming down with some kind of sickness. And it's like, you get to the racetrack and all of a sudden you feel fine. It's just, you get around everybody and it's just like, you're my home away from home. So that's the big thing that keeps me going. there's not very many places I feel better than at a racetrack somewhere.
Yeah. And I do want to ask you this. I asked Matt Tift this, and I'm excited to hear your answer on this. But, you know, if you're in the daily grind at your job, let's say you're a forklift operator or something, your mind wanders. You're thinking about bills at home. You're thinking about all the things that you have to do on the weekend. You're thinking about your wife. You're thinking about your kids. Yeah. Does that ever happen to you behind the wheel where you're like thinking of your mind wanders at all?
No, not that. You don't have time in a 410 sprint car to think about anything. It's more, I mean, you do a lot of thinking, but you don't have time to think about anything other than what you're about to do in a half a second from now. So, it's, but then, like I said, at my day job, I do, then I spend all the daydreaming time thinking about racing.
Yeah.
So it's just, that's another great thing about being in a race car is you kind of, no matter what kind of chaos is going on, like in your life, in the world, anything, you get in a race car and you forget about everything.
It disappears.
You know? Yeah, you just, you don't have time to think about anything. And that's, I feel like when I'm at my best, when I don't have time to think and I just react. 'Cause, you know, sometimes even in a race car, you know, you get a long red flag and you get there and you start thinking, who's behind me and who's in there. You
the demons start,
you can mess yourself all up, you know, when you get thinking too much, but you get out there and you get in a rhythm and you get going and there's no time to think about anything. You're just reacting. And I feel like that's when I operate at the best.
Hey, if you like what you're seeing so far, go ahead and subscribe to the Mansfield Speedway YouTube channel. We've got so many drivers coming through here, and I know you ain't going to want to miss a thing. Y'all want some tickets? I know you're going to buy some tickets anyway, and you have a chance to get $5,000 if you go to thespeedway.com/win, buy a ticket, or any of our eligible merchandise. Thanks for watching. Now let's get back to the action. That might be what you're chasing.
Yeah.
You know, that flow state.
Yeah, that could be it. You know, I don't know. That sounds about right to me. So
that's definitely going to be the answer for every person we have in here. Because Matt said the same thing. It's just, you don't have time.
You don't have time, but I want to find someone that's going to say, dude, I'll be thinking about peanut butter and jelly. You know what I mean?
There will be one.
There'll be Kyle Moore too. I bet.
Okay. Yeah.
But so. Talking about the mindset here, when you're ripping the boards, and I'm talking 130 miles an hour, entering turn 3, and you see that wall approaching you, how much is there any fear? Do you assess any fear while you're behind the wheel?
No, I wouldn't say. I mean, maybe when you first get going, it's a little, I don't know. I wouldn't say fear, but you just kind of, there's times you get that little pucker factor where oh shit, you know, you like get close, but I wouldn't. If you're driving a race car with any bit of fear in your body, mind at all, you shouldn't be in a race car.
You're the squirrel at that point.
Yeah, you're not going to be performing, you know, the way you need to perform. So like, there's zero room for any fear. I don't feel any fear at all. You know, sometimes when you're, you know, up looking at the racetrack or, you know, getting ready to roll out and, you know, like, man, for racetracks getting rutted up, gnarly, it's not a fear thing. You just know, like, here we go. Like,
throw them over your shoulder,
baby.
Yeah,
like you kind of get that little bit of, oh, shit. Like, you know, but it's not like, oh, I'm scared, you know. It's a completely different deal. So, there's no room to be scared. Anybody that's scared, I feel like if that would start creeping in, you know, that's when you probably are going to crash because you're going to make a mistake. You're, you know, not running the thing like you need to. So, there's really no room for any of that.
Yeah, and you're amongst some of the most legendary drivers in the sport. I mean, 410 sprint cars produce amazing talent. And when you're walking through the pit area, is there ever a time where you're like fanboying over anybody? Do you ever get butterflies meeting like an idol? Who did you look up to other than your family in the sport?
Like obviously my dad and my uncle were my biggest, you know, idols, but then like I was a big Casey Kane fan when I was young, and like when I got to meet, I feel like I've known Casey forever. He was really young when he was running the All-Stars with my dad, so getting to watch him come up, he was, for me, like Dave Blaney going to NASCAR and everything was cool, but he was like, I was real little, I feel like. But Casey was like the first guy I was old enough to watch him drive sprint cars and then make, you know, get all the opportunities he got. So I was really big fan of Casey. And Yeah, like the only fan, like now that I'm driving, I'd say the first World of Outlaw race I ever ran was 2020. Yeah, it was the COVID year, and they had the Brad Doty Classic at Attica. It was just huge that year, and that was my first World of Outlaw race. And we ended up, I made it out of the heat race and when you're lining up your first Outlaw race, and like they do the 4 wide salute, and I'm lining up 4 wide. And I know Casey Kane was right beside me. And I don't know if it was Brad Sweet had trouble or somebody, like big name was on the other side of me. And that was the only time ever where I'm like, man, like this is my first World of Outlaw race. Like look over, Casey Kane's there, and I forget who else is on it. And I'm just like, what the fuck am I doing here?
Right.
But then, I mean, as soon as then they say, oh, we're going green next time, and all that, you didn't, like I said, you don't have time to think about anything, and it just all goes away, and you're just out there racing with them.
Yeah. So do you have that moment a lot where you can't? Do you ever think like, man, I cannot believe I'm a race car driver? How wild is this?
Yeah, not anymore. I mean, I'd say when I first got going and like first started having a little bit of success, like winning some races, it was cool. But I just like I'm always more thinking about what's ahead, and like I don't really think about anything that's happened, and one day, hopefully, when I'm older, I'll be able to look back on all this stuff and be like, man, that was pretty awesome that I did that. But right now, it's just mostly, like I said, I'm 34, and I'm just always looking ahead at what's next. Don't really take too much time to think back on anything like that.
So, okay, so in this facility, the owner, Matt, was a NASCAR driver, okay?
Yep.
And he had a little bit of a debacle with NASCAR and like the changes that need to be made and things like that. So basically what I want to ask you is this. If someone's on the fence about wanting to become a dirt racing fan or stick with NASCAR or asphalt, what makes dirt racing to you as a driver, as a fan, as a family member? What makes dirt racing unique? Why would someone want to come out to a dirt track?
I mean, in comparison to the pavement deal, I think in a special dirt sprint cars, late models, it's nonstop action where I feel like even any NASCAR driver, like I'm sure Matt would even say, there were probably some of them NASCAR races where you're kind of cruising and you're just kind of, biding your time and waiting, until it's go time in them races. And I feel like that's kind of what draws a lot of people to the dirt races. They're shorter races. There's no cruising at all.
Not at all.
You got to be running, especially the top guys like World of Outlaws come to town, the high limit guys, any top series, even the all-star guys, or any race, even a lot of local races, you can't take one corner off or just, I'm just going to cruise. It's very rare you're able to ever, take a corner off and still be competitive or win a race. So I think that's the biggest draw to dirt racing is it's the nonstop excitement. There's something wild going on at all times, and it's like controlled chaos, especially like 410 wing sprint cars. Like there's a lot of people that I've brought to the races and hear what I do on the weekends, and like they've never seen a sprint car, and they come look at it. They just look gnarly. Like they're just a crazy machine that the thing's sitting there. When you come in from engine heat, you can climb out and it's sitting there running, and the whole thing's shaking, and people are looking at it like, what the, like it's just it's like back in the day, they welded them up out of old playgrounds.
I know, dude.
And like they're looking at these. It's like looks like a dune buggy to most people with these wings on it, and they're like, this thing is just gnarly.
What does it look like, Leon?
So I come from a different background. I'm more of like the car culture scene kind of guy, and I don't know what it is to me. I like the design of a vehicle, so when I see a sprint car or a dirt late model, like I'm looking at this one right here, I don't know. I just think it looks like a disease.
Yeah,
It's so stupid.
It's
a deadly disease.
That is for sure. Like I mean, I don't know, man. It's cool, and I definitely have to get more into it. But it is kind of funny looking. That's all it is.
They are funny looking.
They're funny looking,
but it is masterful craft from some of the dumbest rednecks in the world. They've made something so fast.
I think. Well, neither.
Much respect to stupid rednecks, by the way.
Neither you or I have really raced anything like that, so I feel like there's kind of a pushback to to what we think about those cars because we haven't been in it. I mean, if I could get a lap in a dirt late model or a sprint car, I guarantee would be like, fuck yeah, that's a car.
Yeah. Speaking of which,
Yeah.
do you get speeding tickets often? How does this work?
No, fortunately. I mean, I've crashed a good handful of street cars in
Really?
my day. Oh yeah, like way before I ever drove race cars, and I'd try to. I've probably because I'm able to go so fast on weekends. I drive pretty reasonable on the road. My wife might disagree, but
Yeah. You get it out of your system.
yeah.
Yeah. How's the wife? Is the wife supportive of you and everything?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. She's the best, you know. And then like we actually got engaged at Attica.
Oh, really?
Wow.
It was World of Outlaw race at Attica 2021. It was May. She's gonna kill me, but May 20th maybe. Somewhere in May.
We can censor that if you need us to.
She'll understand. She knows the way my brain works. But yeah, I made the dash of a World of Outlaw show. It was like the first dash, and I bought an engagement ring like probably a few months before that, and was just waiting for a night. Our first date was at Attica. Like first time I took her anywhere, went to Attica, and her family's been involved. Her cousin raced Wayne County weekly for years, and like she's always went, and like so she's always known the races, but like hadn't really seen it like up in like the way she sees it now that her husband's in a race car. But so yeah, our first date I took her to Attica. It would have been opening night of 2020, and then in 2021 it was World of Outlaw race. Made the dash, had this engagement ring in I'd pack in my race bag about every week, and I'm like, man, if I win tonight, I'm gonna propose to her, you know, whenever I win. And that night we made it in the dash of a World of Outlaw show. It was the first time I ever made a dash for an outlaw show, and I'm like, you know, you do the whole draw for the dash out of a big giant NOS energy drink can to see where you're starting in the dash. And I talked it over with the World of Outlaw people beforehand. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna propose to my wife. I'm ever come down there with me and, you know, act like I'm drawing and just pull a ring out and propose. And luckily she said yes. She's been all about it, you know, since we met. And yeah, and then I proceeded to draw the pole for the dash too after that. So I was like,
shoot.
Yeah, everything was going
That's
great.
a
And
good
then
story.
everything went downhill that night. So I was like, oh, what the hell did
At
I
least
just
you
do?
had your moment.
Yeah,
There's a flag in the
yeah.
Used all
pan.
your luck.
Yeah, I think I used 100% of my luck with her saying yes, and then and we got crashed. But she's my biggest supporter. Like I said, like she runs my social media stuff, and then sells all my merchandise. That she's gotten really big on that, and that's a big part of it. You know, even at our local level, it helps us drivers out a lot, just selling merch. So yeah, she's my racing has even leveled up, I feel like, since, you know, finding her and being married and now having a family.
Yeah, they manage so much. I mean, that's why when you walk through the pit area, you come with an army. You come with your wife, you come with your kids, and they're always doing something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You need that. I can't imagine being able to do this as a single man, you know?
Yeah, it's different for sure. Like I remember winning my first race at Wayne County and like being just so stoked. But then like come home to an empty house with my dog, and I'm like, man, this kind of sucks. And now it's just so much different. Like, I mean, yeah, I was still stoked. I won a sprint car race, you know, I'm on top of the world. But then like now it's just a whole new level of excitement. Like you having your family there with you, and everybody's excited now. You know, I got baby girl, and I had her in victory lane at Wayne County when she was like 6 months old. So we'll have those pictures forever, and it's just awesome now. Like I have a whole lot more to race for, like having them with me.
Yeah. So now with your family and your kid, how has that changed the way that you approach racing? Has it at all? Does it change anything for you?
No, not like in a car. I don't feel any different. If anything, it's just more motivation, I feel like, you know, and I know the way I grew up at the racetracks, like a lot of people, you know, might not understand, like, man, like you guys are going racing every weekend, and I've missed a lot. It's a lot of sacrifice, you know, friends and family, people getting married all summer long and missing weddings. And like a lot of people don't understand really probably what we do, but I know the life I lived growing up at racetracks constantly, and it was awesome. Like while like, yeah, I know like you sacrifice a lot, you know, family vacations and like I said, weddings and different events because we're always gone racing on the weekends. You also are able to do a lot through racing. And like I said, I want to be able to give her, I want her to grow up around the racetrack and just see what all it has to offer. I hope to God she never wants to climb in one, but I don't know. She turns 15, 16. If she's like, Dad, I want to drive a race car, I'm going to have no choice. She's already got me wrapped around her finger. She gets everything she wants.
Oh, it's over
It's
with.
just, yeah. It's,
See,
and I wouldn't want it any other way.
That's a bit different from Jordan and Matt because Jordan does not let Matt get in a sprint car at all, and she finds this complete like disconnect.
That's
almost.
Matt Tiff.
Yeah.
Can't get in a sprint car?
No, can't get in a sprint car or a street motorcycle at all, ever.
Not
Never
allowed.
in a sprint car, huh?
So-
I got one in my shop that I'm currently not driving.
Oh, he
I might
might
have to have, if I can get our wives together, you know, maybe I could get my wife. Oh, it'll be all right. Because I'd like to. I'm sure he would like to try it too. At least,
Yeah.
hell, now he's got a racetrack. We can come out any day and he
Yeah.
can burn
On
some
that
laps.
topic, we were curious. Have you or anybody that you know in your family ever raced here?
I raced here once when I think it was Cody Summer owned it.
Yeah. Dirt.
I only ran here one time, and that was, I don't even remember the year, honestly. But my dad raced here. I think my dad raced here like back when he first started. I believe he started racing in 1981. So I think it was still open dirt back then when he first got going. I know my grandfather raced here quite a bit back. And that was like even before the sprint car days. I think they called them modifieds, but they looked like I don't know. They looked kind of like a sprint car, had a wing on top.
Oh, the super modifieds?
Nah, it was still dirt. It's not like the supers they race now,
Right.
Like all that, like on all the asphalt stuff. But it was way back in the day, like basically before sprint cars were a thing. I know he raced here a lot, and like that's actually how Wayne County got built. Was my grandfather was racing, and he was racing a late model at the time, and I think he was running over here. He's running at Hilltop, I know, every week, and he had won. I forget how many. Like he won a lot of races in a row at Hilltop, and they were like making him start last, and I guess he would still go out and win, and then eventually, like they said, he had some like new Hemi engine or something in his late model that they said, "Oh, that's illegal now," because he was winning everything when it wasn't illegal, but. I guess that was his dad, who's been my great-grandpa, told you guys, well, to hell with you guys, I'm going to go build my own racetrack, and that's how he built Wayne County, and so it's still running today. So, yeah.
That's crazy, dude.
Yeah, it's wild.
Wow. How was that like racing here?
I forget how we even ran. I know we didn't run the best. It was, I just know they had some issues with the surface back then. It was a little dirty, but everything I see now, I'm stoked to get back out here and like it's close to home. It's gonna Matt's doing things the right way from what I can see, you know, watching from afar. And yeah, I was looking forward to whenever like we're gonna maybe do a test deal out here at the end of the year, and then some things came up where I'm really looking forward to getting back out here now because I know it'll be a completely different racetrack from when it was when I ran on it. But yeah, it was. I mean, any place is fun, like under the right circumstances, you know. Sometimes your favorite track isn't very fun some nights, you know, whenever they don't get prepped right and whatnot. So I'm stoked to get out here and like I said, like the one big race they had when it was open under Cody Summer, that they had that like dirt track championship, whatever, it was like 100,000 win. My brother and Tim Schaefer won it. My brother crew chiefing for him. So like my family's had some success here. I don't know if my dad ever won any races here, but yeah, my brother won probably the biggest dirt race ever here as a crew chief. So
I wonder if there's a video on that on YouTube. People have some crazy shit at this place.
it was a gnarly race the night Schaefer won that between him and Aaron Reitzel. I know they traded the lead in the last corner, but yeah, it was sick. I don't know. I don't know if it's still around on YouTube or what it would possibly be on, but yeah, it was sick.
Someone's got something, and this is a good plug here. If you want to put something on our Jumbotron, we would like to specify here, it has to be Mansfield Speedway related. You can go to thespeedway.com, click on the vault, and you can upload your media and potentially get it up on the Jumbotron. So nice segue there, buddy. Thanks for the plug. I appreciate the alley-oop. Now, you've been racing for a long time. there's some up-and-comers. If you had to put, let's say you were an owner of a team, and you were like, hey, I think there's something in this guy or girl in the 410 sprint car or whatever it may be. Who do you think is one of the brightest up-and-comers in today? That they could be young, they could be old, new?
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, like Casey Jedrzejczyk just got a deal with the World of Outlaws, so he's going big time fast. And he's a young guy that just in the past 2 years is all of a sudden, like, he was doing the 305 deal, and then he got in I forget, somebody's 410 and was racing a little bit, and then just all of a sudden, must have been 2024, all of a sudden the kid's super fast. So he's come a long way in a short amount of time, and I'm excited to see what he can do now against the best guys in the world. And then, you know, there's so many young guys now. Guys are starting to race so early that there's a lot of really young guys that run really well that have been running micros and, you know, all kinds of different cars since they could basically walk. So there's I've been in talks with a couple guys. One guy in particular out of Indiana, his son's coming up that I might put him in my race car for a handful of nights. We're just kind of working out, you know, the logistics of that, and to see. I've never been a car owner, but now that I'm driving for another team, you know, my stuff's just sitting there. So that's a possibility. You know, it's definitely going to be cool to see these really young guys see what they can do.
Yeah. Now, you race up there, Attica, Fremont area all the time. Is there any driver that you just like, maybe not a rivalry, but just like, man, he got me again. He got me again. He threw a slider and coming to the checker flag. Is there a Cap Henry, anybody up there?
Cap Henry's everybody's rival right now. He's kicking all our asses. You know,
yeah.
He's definitely the guy that you want to beat right now because he's the best in Ohio and one of the best, you know, I don't know if he was second or maybe third for total wins in the country last year. Like he's super fast right now, and yeah, that's the guy you want to beat. There's no rivalry there or anything, you know. Like I want to beat everybody, but that's just if you have to pick one guy that, and even like us, like kind of starting this new team up, what Cap and Zach, his crew chief, and Jeff Ward's their team is doing that's something I like to look at, and I kind of show like my guys, you know, like I think if we keep building, you know, we can stick together and do this for a handful of years. We could be right there, and I think I mean they made pretty good money for just racing mostly local stuff last year. So yeah, that they're definitely they set the standard right now for sprint car racing in Ohio, and so I'd say that's the guy that you want to be racing with, you know, every week that you want to be right there with. Yeah.
Well, I would also like to invite, hey, Cap Henry, I'm going to send you a DM. I would love to have your butt on this couch, too. I'm a late model guy, okay? Super sorry about that. But I've noticed that all the sprint car drivers that I've ever talked to, y'all kind of look the same. You guys have the same vibe. You got the hat. You kind of got like a motocross feel to you. What do you think is the biggest difference between a late model driver and a sprint car driver?
I don't know. It seems like all the late model drivers are a lot bigger guys than us. Like I don't know. That's about the only. I get along good with quite a few late model guys. I mean, Kyle Moore's the guy around home. He's super cool. I just seen him a couple weeks ago at Wayne County's banquet I went to, and yeah, I don't know really. Like, I don't know that there's a ton of difference. We're all kind of doing the same thing, just in different cars. You know, the only thing I know is there's a lot more big guys that drive late models which I don't know how they fit in them things. The window ain't that big.
It's tight as shit. Yeah. I got in Matt's dirt late model, dude.
Yeah,
bro, and he crashed it too.
So Matt's allowed to drive a dirt late model, but not 410s.
Yeah. Well,
yeah, we're gonna have to change that.
Yeah. I mean, damn.
We gotta change that.
Now go ahead.
Sorry. No, I was just gonna. He did survive the crash and the gunk dirt late model. So I mean, I think the biggest thing with him is that if he gets into a sprint car and he does roll over or something happens, you don't know what'll
you're safe in them things. Yeah, you're safe, super safe. Obviously stuff happens, but yeah, we're safe in them cars.
You think so?
Oh yeah, yeah. I if I felt super, imminent danger at all times, I probably wouldn't be doing it. But at the same time, if I was smart enough to, I don't know, I wouldn't be driving race cars if I
Yeah.
super smart anyway. But
Yeah,
there's
there's something wrong with you a little bit.
yeah, a little bit. And a little bit of the danger is probably what makes it so, like if they were super safe and all, then everybody would do it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But the safety deals come a long way. Our cars right now are safer than they've ever been. And yeah, I watched my dad take a ton of crashes throughout my life. And a lot of guys, have taken a lot of crashes and then, some guys aren't so lucky and stuff happens. But I think you'll have that in any form of motorsport. So our cars, I feel comfortable, I think the safety's come a long way. They're doing a lot of new stuff now with the seats and back injury stuff where between the chasm system and monkey bar system that they're putting for our seats, to give our seats a little bit of give. Really, that I think that's going to go a long way towards all the back injuries. And yeah, they look wicked, they feel wicked at times, but we're pretty safe, in my mind.
Yeah. Is there a specific class that you haven't tried yet or haven't raced in yet that you'd want to get into?
Dirt late model. I'd like to try one. Yeah, I haven't. I've kind of thrown it out there to a few guys, about like maybe doing a ride swap deal. I'd love to try one. They seem like a cool car to drive, and yeah, that's really the only one right now that interests me. And yeah, I love the 410 wing sprint car. The non-wing deal's fun here and there. I wouldn't want to do it all the time. Now that's a deal where I'd say the danger's up there a little higher, but the dirt late model really interests me a lot.
Sick.
Yeah, the danger. I tell you, I felt like there's so many jagged edges in the compact car the four banger.
Yeah.
There's broken glass. The roll bar was like unwelded and rusted at the bottom. Dude, those are dangerous as hell.
You don't know who's putting the cage in that thing. How your seat was probably Zeus buttoned in there.
Bro, I had that kind of a seatbelt in that motherfucker. No, it was fun. It was a lot of fun to do. Is there any driver? Okay, you don't have to answer any of this if you don't want to.
Yeah.
Is there any driver that you cannot stand?
Oh yeah, but I'm not gonna throw names out there. But
Damn.
yeah, there's some guys.
Come on, Robbie.
We're trying to get some clips out of this, man.
You're putting him under the bus.
There's some guys that I don't think anybody can stand, but yeah, there's guys out there. But for the most part, I got respect for everybody. Like it's not a disrespect thing. If you're gonna climb in a sprint car and do what I do alongside me, you have to respect guys.
Yeah.
There's just some guys that kind of race like dicks, and everybody knows who they are, and it's just the way it is, But obviously you got your guys you respect more than others, and the guys that you get along with more than others. But you'll have that in any sport, There's guys that just are pretty hard to like. But I try my hardest not to be one of those guys. So,
have you ever had a reputation?
I don't know. Like I know, like I got myself into some shit on the internet before, like on Twitter. Like like I said, my wife runs all my social medias, but Twitter I run. So there's times, you get an opinion and you get a few beers in you. Like, oh,
dangerous combination,
let's
brother.
Stir up these internet trolls and see what we can get people saying. But as I've gotten older, I feel like I've done that a little less. But yeah, I don't know. I think sometimes people get, even my wife will say, like, I think a lot of people had like a perception of me that wasn't really probably accurate, just because at the racetrack, a lot of times I am more closed off, kind of, I'm not really sociable, like trying to, like, if somebody comes up to me, I'll talk to anybody, I can make friends with anybody, but where I feel like sometimes maybe that's rubbed people the wrong, like they don't know how to take me, but it's just, I don't know, when I'm there, I'm just, I'm focused, my mind's on one thing, so it's hard for me. Some guys are better at like my dad, his whole career, like I swear one day, hopefully 50 years from now, he's going to start a conversation in the morgue. Like that's just how he is. Like, and I'm a little more closed off, especially at the racetrack. But yeah, but you know, you get to know me. I just met you guys today. You know, you sit and bullshit, and
Yeah.
you know, carry on a conversation with anybody. So yeah, maybe that's the only perception, any kind of image I've had that I don't know. But around home, I think I have a really good reputation. Kids seem to love us, you know, or around home, and yeah, I try to put off a good image.
Yeah. That's got to be, I mean, the one thing that I've learned in racing is the branding, the personal branding in your own image is so valuable.
Yeah.
And it could literally be the difference between you signing sponsors and not signing them at all. And then you just don't get the equipment, you don't get the opportunities, and you don't get the race for any money.
Right.
Because you can't afford it because you said something stupid on Twitter and you had a couple Coronis in
Oh,
you.
yeah,
You know what
I'm
I mean?
sure that's happened in the past. But, yeah, that's a big thing right now. And bigger than ever with social media being so huge. That's, you know, just how you present yourself. You kind of got to look at yourself as like a brand, and you got to sell your brand to people. You know, that's kind of how it is when you're going out searching for sponsorship and all that. So, yeah, that's something I've buttoned up. And I think just maturity, growing up, having a family, it's all, you know, that all that stuff's kind of buttoned up. And but with me, a lot of time, what you see is what you get. I'm not very good at faking it. So that's the one thing. I think the people who do support me and have supported me and sponsors, and that's what I always pitch to my sponsors, like, yeah, I can come in here, you know, all dressed up and fancy, but like, you bet your ass if you come to a racetrack, as soon as the race is over, we're going to be drinking beer. And then like, I can do that really well. So like, yeah, I like to, you know, I try not to fake it, you know. The image, if somebody's not going to like me, I'd rather them not like me for who I actually am than, you know, put off some image for people.
Yeah. I really feel like I've kind of I really fit in the dirt racing crowd, whether it's drivers, crews, the fans, the concession workers. They're my people, man.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I'm not the smartest cookie, but I just learned how to talk, and they've been so welcoming to me.
Yeah.
So like being a part of the dirt racing culture is very important to me. I'm so thankful to be there and getting to talk to kick-ass drivers like you, man. This has been awesome, dude.
Yeah, the dirt people too, like the fan, like that is one thing. Like I will say, like I said, like you get on Twitter and sometimes like you're gonna find out, and Matt's gonna find out, owning and operating a racetrack, there's gonna all the people are gonna be talking shit.
Oh,
and like
yeah.
but and there's he's gonna find out. You're gonna have people pissed off at you every night, but that's part of the dirt racing thing. All the fans, I feel like, are so passionate.
Yes.
And it's like, it's not a really big world, but like, man, the people in it, it's, you know, I feel like once they start, they're a bunch of diehards, and it's cool. You know, I got
So cool.
people now that, you know, are older and like watched my dad race, and now they're fans of me just because they grew up watching him. And it's just, I feel like once you get in, it's like a drug, you know, like there's a lot of people get hooked on drugs, and then people get hooked on dirt racing. And
Right.
That's kind of feel like, sounds like where you're getting. So
That's where I'm at, buddy.
Yeah.
I'm chasing that dragon. You already know. But, hey, dude, it has been phenomenal talking to you. We've eclipsed our hour. I want to give you the floor for a second. Hey, promote whatever you need to promote. Shout out your sponsors, where people can find you, and so on and so forth, brother.
Yeah, you see everything on social media. Trey Jacobs Racing on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter's at tjacobs3j. You follow that for more of the, you know, raw stuff. Just my race team, Chris Nagy Racing. I'll be driving for this year, number 28N, Nagy Performance Racing Products. There's a part shop there in Findlay where anything sprint car related, anything race car, you know, you call them up. They got a lot in stock. You know, they're trying to help out the local racers at, you know, very competitive pricing, and they have cars. If you wanted to build a sprint car ready to go, they got everything you need. You could put a race car together and go race it. So really helping that, really trying to help promote that. And now at the beginning of March, he's having a simulator set up at the race shop. Thing looks awesome. I'm excited for it to get there, and it'll provide a very realistic racing experience for anybody to come, you know, try out. Believe, I'm not sure pricing wise or what he's going to charge, but he's going to rent it out. And yeah, my sponsors, you know, Holmes Cheese and Burgett Insurance, Smithville Manufacturing, Vibe ISO have helped me out a lot. And the sponsors with the 28N car, you know, the TNT Firearms, Miller Custom Rods and Vets, yeah, every Nagy Equipment Sales, everybody who helps us out, and we're looking for a lot more help. So right now, you know, currently, you know, getting proposals out and trying to get as many new sponsors as we can. And yeah, just everybody who supports us, we appreciate it a lot. Shop TreyJacobsRacing.com. Don't have anything on there right now. Working on a T-shirt design for this year, but we'll have some new merch rolling. And yeah, that's about all I got.
Yeah, let me get one of them T-shirts when you do it. Trey, you have been phenomenal. It's been so easy to talk to you. And I'm going to talk to your sweet Patuker in Victory Lane at the Mansfield Speedway in a couple months. Sound good, buddy?
Oh, yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in to today's broadcast. I am Robbie DeVore, the host, joined by Leon Feinstein. We're going to go ahead and take things out and head on home for the night. If you want to check out this episode, follow all of our social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, everything we got. Check out thespeedway.com to pick up some of the freshest merch from the 57 Club, and we'll see you again next time. Take care. I'm out.